Ah, guys, I know that I said I wasn't going to really get into the new He-Man series too much, but let's face it, the last couple of videos I've been doing have been very heavy, very deep, man, and why not do something a little bit more lighthearted? So I saw this article about the new He-Man series, which is trippy, right? Because how are you going to have two He-Man series on the same channel and they're done completely different, but they're both bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like how you would think that the law of averages or chances or whatever, you would think that at least one of them would come up being worth a shit, but it seems like no, neither one of them is entirely concerned with being a worthy successor to our original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Not even the 2002 He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which was the real proper successor to that show from back in the day. So we have this one here, and I just want to read this because it's just too juicy, man. It's just way too sweet to pass up a commentary on this, okay? So let me show you what's being said about this. This is kind of a description of what we're in for with this new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe stuff, okay? So this was on Polygon.com, and it says, Netflix's other He-Man reboot feels like it was written by a 5-year-old. In all the best ways, it says. It's a gender bent, surprise, 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 anime influenced, cyberpunk heavy mishmash of reimagined characters and wild action. What can go wrong? So it goes on to say, Mattel's He-Man is back in vogue, less than 2 months after Masters of the Universe Revelation. That other bullshit series, Kevin Smith, how you feeling? Are you feeling safe as kittens right now? That's what he said. We're safe as kittens. Who cares about what the fans have to say? You dumb fuck. So it goes on to say, the streaming service has come out with yet another reboot, the CG animated He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. While this new version shares its title with the 80s show, they have little else in common, apart from a few bullet points of the basic He-Man premise. Good guy Toy wields a power sword that turns him into an Ubermensch. Cackling Skullman, bad guy Toy, wants the sword and or the power. Nearly everything else is a stark departure. And while this may irk those who took issues with the ways Revelation shifted the narrative focus away from the stars of the 80s show, no, not necessarily. It was basically that Kevin Smith was a liar, an absolute liar. And then when he got caught in the lie, he decided the way to go was to completely turn into a bitch and start insulting the fans. That's where it all went down the toilet. You know what I'm saying? If they had just made a good product, we might have been able to forgive that. But since it was all based upon a lie, and then what they did was a narrative mess, that's the reason why it got the reception that it got. The fans are never wrong, bro. We just watched the original. We just know the source material. Why would anybody listen to us, right? So it goes on. It's worth remembering, and here it is. It's worth remembering that these series are largely meant for children. So why would you go all the way back to the 80s to resurrect something for today's children? Today's children ain't checking for no He-Man. They're busy playing stuff like Fortnite. Is Fortnite still in? By the way, I know my son used to play it not too long ago. Call of Duty. They're playing video games, man. They're going through apps on their phone. Ain't nobody thinking about no He-Man. Most of them ain't even thinking about action figures. They just don't do it anymore, bruh. So when you go back to the 80s and grab something up that we used to watch, guess what? We're busting through the ground like zombies. You know what I'm saying? Something you thought was dead. Remember the last scene of every horror movie or whatever, you thought it was dead. They show the ground and the soil starts moving, and here comes the hand. It's alive. It's alive. Those are us 80 babies, okay? You can never count us out. We're like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers and shit. Whenever you think we're dead, we get back up. All right, so anyway, it says here, yeah, these are for children, especially this new one, an adequate, breezy, zippy adventure with teenage protagonists. So let's get into this real quick, what it says here, guys. Eternia is now Eternos, a realm where magic and futuristic technology blend together. Prince Adam has been separated from his father, King Randor, for a decade, and he has no memory of who he is. He lives in the forested outskirts of the kingdom, along with the Tiger Tribe, a small but peaceful group of humans and tigers living in harmony. tigers and humans living in perfect harmony. Okay, sounds kind of suspect there, but maybe that's just my sick mind, all right? Humans and tigers living in harmony. Yeah, they seem to, we got humans and tigers live together in perfect harmony. Okay, so anyway, they seem to reject magic and fear technology, but this doesn't play into the story much. Adam's closest allies are the tiger Cringer, once his pet in the original, now reimagined as a wiser, older mentor, and his adoptive human sister, Crass. Sprightly, blue-haired, purple-skinned girl who enjoys knocking things down with her helmet. Of course, she's got blue hair. Don't they all these days? And I'm sure she's very, very feminist, too. It doesn't say that, but I'll put some money on it. We'll just see, okay? You remember I said it. But then again, what are the chances? They all are these days, like I said. This rural paradise is thrown into disarray with the arrival of high-tech magician Tila, recast as a white-haired black teenager. They went and did it. On the run from a pair of villainous thieves she recently betrayed, the brutish Cronus and scheming sorceress Evelyn, along with their lanky, tech-savvy sidekick Duncan, who doesn't seem too enthused about being a bad guy. Chaos ensues when the villains catch up to Tila, leading to Adam's discovery of the show's enormous anime-inspired version of the Power Sword. I saw it. The Power Sword is huge. I think somebody is trying to compensate for something, and it's probably the animators. You know what I'm saying? It's just, why? Why did they do this? Why did they feel the need to do this? I don't know, but like I said, they're aiming for the dumbass, retarded kids. That's basically how they see them, okay? I don't see them that way, but they do, because they feel like they can just throw them any old slop, come and get it, sweet! That's how they feel about it. It allows him, and only him, to call down the power of Castle Grayskull and transform from a scrawny teen into the hulking He-Man, Eternos champion. However, the long dormant sword is also a beacon of sorts, and activating it awakens a mysterious figure from his decade-long stasis, Adam's uncle and King Randor's long-lost brother, Keldor, a man with a skeleton hand and a familiar lust for Grayskull's power. Okay, so that's where they're going with all of this, guys. They're basically just taking the characters that we know and love, as usual, just reshaping them, deconstructing them, and bringing them up to what they want them to be with no regard whatsoever to what came before. Like I said, it's like Reboot 101. You know, they all go from the same textbook. They have no concern or intention of honoring that source material. They just won't do it. It's because they don't want to pay out the creative minds who came up with this stuff in the first place, I guess. I mean, that's basically what they do with Disney, right? They don't want to pay the authors of the EU books and all that stuff. So that's what's going on, guys. And, you know, ultimately, I have to at least respect this more than the Kevin Smith bullshit, because they're not even trying at all. And they're not trying to pass this off like it's a love letter to the fans. They're basically just saying, what the fuck, we're just going to do whatever we want to do. You know, like it, love it, they hate it, whatever. They don't care. So why should we? You know, once the kids don't watch it and it just fades away, then we'll just have what we love anyway, you know, in that 2002 version as well. You know, but that's the problem with all of this new stuff that they're coming up with. They don't have any staying power whatsoever, and they're just wasting time, they're wasting technology, they're wasting money, and who cares about them ultimately? But guys, I just thought that would be a kicker, you know, if you just saw what these guys are planning to present to us, even though they're saying it's for the kids. Okay, so you can tell me how you feel about that, guys. You know, when it comes out, it'll be on Netflix. I don't know when the fuck it's coming out, who knows? But yeah, I'm sure we'll meet back here to talk about what we see. And what do you think about that? Get in the comment section. Let me know. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. You can catch me on the next one. Thank you for listening, guys. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.